Maureen O'Hara has starred in many of CBS's most successful holiday motion pictures over the past few years. And this Thanksgiving week, she'll add Cab to Canada to that list. It'll be broadcast on November the 29th. And it's a pleasure to welcome Maureen O'Hara back to CBS. Thanks for coming on, and it's nice to see you again.
Well, thank you, and thanks for publicizing her to move Cab to Canada is wonderful. And I hope you bring us the good luck you brought us with at the Christmas box.
Me too. I know that you've been thinking for a long time about writing your autobiography or your life story.
That's true.
And
I've started already.
I wanted to ask you if in your life you've had some really humorous situations where things have happened that have made people wonder what you really were like.
Well, I know what I thought of the people when the things happened, but I've often wondered what they thought of me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some really, really funny ones.
How about on the set of Deadly Companions?
That's particularly wonderful. I was in Tucson, Arizona, in old Tucson. We were shooting a scene, and my brother happened to be standing close by, and two ladies drew up in a car. And one lady got out and she said, I'll stay here, you stay in the car, and I'll go and check up on this Maureen O'Hara. Well, not so far away, we were preparing to do a stunt scene where I was dragged behind a horse.
Right.
Now, naturally, the star is not permitted to do that.
No.
And the stuntmen's union...
stunt double, right?
No, don't permit a woman to do it, a woman stunt one. So it was a man, and he was dressed up in the same clothes that I was dressed up in. And the lady came over and she saw this man dressed in my clothes and me standing close by. And she went back to her friend in the car and she said, well, tell me what happened. And she said, my God, that Maureen O'Hara, she looks like a prize fighter. And she said, but they've got a very pretty girl standing by, which they use her in the close-ups. The other lady said, well, it's no wonder she got the job. You know, her brother is the producer, and that's the only way she got the job.
And wasn't there a time when your agent or somebody got you on a very plush train back to New York?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. MCA, Music Corporation of America, were my agents. And, you know, the wonderful Lou Wasserman became head of that. And I had to go back to New York. And they took me, they put you on the train in Pasadena with great flourish and everything else, you know. Right. And I had a beautiful compartment. I had a private bathroom, I had a lovely little sitting room, and a bed. And I sat down and I was going to enjoy this wonderful trip to New York. And I decided I should go and eat something. Being young, you know, you get hungry all the time. Right. And I opened my purse. I had no money, nothing. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do? So I rumbled around in my bag and I found a bottle of vitamins. And for 2 days, I just stuffed vitamins down. And then it reached the point where I had such a stomach ache. I was so hungry and I was dizzy with starvation. Oh, sure. And I went out into the corridor on the train and I walked up and down, trying to get over this starvation and the ache, pain in my stomach and dizziness. And around the corner came a lady and she went, oh, Maureen O'Hara. And I thought, oh no, I can't stand it. I'm so sick, I can't stand handling a fan. And she started talking at me and at me and at me, and I was, you know, sort of backing away. And she said, oh, would you do me the honor of having lunch with me?
Would I?
Well, I almost...
You ate the table, right?
I almost knocked her down running to the dining car. We sat down, and I ate the biggest lunch anybody could ever eat. And just as lunch was finished, I noticed there was a lot of bread still in the bread basket.
Yeah.
And I put it all in my purse.
To this day, she must think, my God.
No, I've often wondered, what did she tell her family about this Maureen O'Hara that she took to lunch on a train on the way to New York?
Now, from the train to the cab to Canada, this is a movie that, the movie that you do on the 29th.
That's right.
Why do they call it Cab to Canada? Is that the plot? You get in a cab and go to Canada?
Basically, it's the story of 4 ladies who played bridge together, and one of their partners in the bridge game dies. And she had always scrimped and saved and bought frozen food and anything so as not to spend money. And when they go to her funeral, they discover that she's worth millions.
Ah.
And my character thinks, my God, how could she do that? She could have had anything she wanted in this world. And she scrimped and saved.
Yeah.
And she thought, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm now going to live my life to the full, and I'm going to spend everything I've got on myself. And she leaves the funeral and goes out to the street and hires a taxi. And she says to the young man, drive, take me to Malibu. I want to go to the beach. And from there on, they keep driving, and he gets more annoyed, and they fight and they bicker, but she wants to keep going, and they wind up in Canada and eventually become friends and learn to appreciate each other and their ideas of life.
Sounds cute. Sounds very, very sweet.
Well, I hope it's better than cute.
Well, okay.
I hope it's good.
Well, cute's good for me.
Yeah.
Let me pause for a second. We're chatting with Maureen O'Hara, who'll be starring in Cab to Canada on Thanksgiving weekend on this network. Back with Miss O'Hara, and if time permits, you on the toll-free after these messages.